like a model, leading the way and they follow. I'm turning it up, burn it up like a sauna, and I'm gonna be who I wanna. Freaking the bad like I'm Crystal, breaking the mood like an idol. I'm turning it up, burn it up like a sauna, and I'm gonna be who I wanna. She gon' be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. All about that grind, cause I wanna be that. I want moves like whoa, hella style, confidence. I want swag like hey, slaying in every way. I'm working all day, I'm not, don't need no help. I'ma be just fine. I'm all about that grind, cause I wanna be that chick. 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 I wanna be that chick.
You ain't no damn body.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Another little pissant nobody who is trying to make a damn name for themselves.
But you have heard of me.
No, I'm the bee, like from nature.
Now the moment you've all been waiting for. The royal hostess with the mostest. The queen bee with the money, honey.
BeePlus.
That's right. And it's time you all bow to the real queen bee.
Comes the most beautiful bee in the universe.
You're stealing all the bees just because you're jealous?
No, that's just a bonus. My actual plan is to capture all the queens. Their hives will then have no choice but to follow me.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, BeePlus, aka Emma, coming to you kind of live, but not really, on this lovely, I believe it's Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, so I recorded like a whole thing earlier on one of my walk and talks, and then I'm like, you know what? It's gonna take forever to upload that, even though it's only like 45 minutes. It's gonna take forever to upload if I just use my phone. So I'm just gonna come on here and talk, and hopefully I hit all the points that I wanted to make, because I was on a roll. I have a lot to say. I was listening to a little bit of Drama Divides live from last night because I did miss that because I wasn't feeling great. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But while I have your attention, because YouTube says I have a certain amount of time before I lose your attention, and I'm probably losing it now. But before you forget, make sure to hit that thumbs up, please, and thank you. And hit that subscribe button and consider becoming a member. But most importantly, hit that like and subscribe button. That's more valuable than anything else you could possibly do for me. 100%. And I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be on here a lot more. I'm trying to put out videos consistently, even if they are pre-recorded. Have my reasons. You guys will see. I'm putting together something big, though. So like my first live that I do back that's actually live, I need it to be perfect. I need it to be perfect. So I am currently uploading everything pre-uploaded to StreamYard, and I've got all the visuals. So everything I've got, I'm going to put out there. And then when I'm done with it, if I'm going to put it all into a Google Drive, all of my own. And if you would like it, it is all yours. I don't mean that will not include personal messages. All of the stuff that I'll put on that Google Drive is just going to be stuff that's from YouTube, whether it be clips or screenshots or whatever. And then you can do whatever you want with it. My gift to you, because I have found so much, guys. I've been going through my phone, and I haven't really. Sorry, I just got back from physical therapy. I'm tired. What was I saying? Oh yes, that I was going through my phone, and I always think to look for the clips, but I never really look at the screenshots I take, and I'm really glad that I did, because I have found some receipts. There's been some like attempts to rewrite history lately, like the history of our community, and yeah, well, and I was like kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I can't prove this. Now I can. I can't prove everything, but I can prove quite a bit, and I've been working on it. So it's going to be this big thing, and I wanted to title it with what this is titled, but I couldn't think of a clever name for this that wouldn't sound weird and a little off-putting and probably confuse people. So Yeah. We're going to go with this. I might change it later. I don't know. Because this is The Nightmare Before Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kitties and puppies and everything else, everything in between. That is what we are seeing right now. This is The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is, mark my words. And people can say that you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. That's fine. You don't have to. You can say that I don't even care what you say at this point. But that's what this is. And here's the thing, right? So I was watching some of the stuff that was going on yesterday, and I'm telling you, I almost went into a rage when I heard a particular thing. And because I was just like, are you kidding me? I think that we are all in agreement. I haven't run into anybody that has said, wow, it's so great. Doxing is the best. I love doxing people, and everybody should be doxed, and it's okay to dox people. And what happened to Jessica was okay. I have not found one person that's saying that. None. Because I think we can all agree that doxing is wrong. We shouldn't dox people. It's not appropriate. It doesn't need to be done. I don't agree with it. I don't think anybody agrees with it. Nobody would like it if it was done to them. So we're going to just take that at face value, right? So we'll just leave that at that. But that's a whole separate issue from looking into how it's handled afterwards. Having commentary about how something is handled afterwards is not minimizing or negating the action itself. So I'm really sick of hearing that too. Nobody is saying it's okay. But some of us have questions. We have questions. And we can talk about it just like everybody else can talk about what they want to as well. So before people get up on their moral high horses where it's going to be awfully, awfully painful when you fall, because that horse is awfully high, maybe think about that. Nobody's okay with anything like that. And for her to say that people are, and this is like a direct quote, people are cheering on her demise. Excuse me? Jessica, nobody that I have seen, if this happened, I would like to see it. And I want to see the proof of it. And I'd be willing to bet that it's either didn't happen or what is being turned into cheering on my demise is somebody saying something completely different that's been twisted and like blown into something. That would be my bet, but call me crazy. But I haven't seen it. I wouldn't associate with somebody that's cheering on somebody else's demise. That's a very serious statement. That's a serious allegation to put on somebody. To say, and it, like the way she puts it makes it sound like it's a whole bunch of us. Nobody wants anything bad to happen to you, Jess. I certainly don't want anything bad to happen to you or your family. What kind of heartless, terrible person would? It's all fun and games on YouTube, but like if anything crosses that line and goes real life, and especially if somebody was to actually hurt you, nobody would be okay with that. Not at all. I'd be pissed. I don't want anything to happen to you. When all is said and done, like, I have a big heart and I still care about people I probably shouldn't, but nobody wants to see anything happen to you or your children or your parents or anybody else in your family. Nobody. I haven't seen it anyway. So I don't know where like these grandiose statements are coming from. Because that's a very serious thing to say. If somebody's cheering on your demise, I mean, that needs to be reported. That shouldn't be happening. That should be I don't know. I haven't seen any clips of it. Where's the clip videos of that? You would think that like, people who support somebody, if somebody was literally cheering on their demise, you think the clip videos would be coming out like crazy, like rapid fire. Nobody should be okay with that. But I haven't seen anything. So I'm just, a little bit confused. And I think it's, open to discuss how things are handled afterwards. I think we're all in agreement that it's not okay. And I already said, and I don't understand why this makes me such a horrible person, that I'm not going to, what good would me doing a community post about it do? What good would that do? I've stated in chats, on videos, that I'm not okay with people being doxxed. I don't stand for that. But if I was to make a community post about it, that would just be virtue signaling. It's like, look at me. I did the post that's socially appropriate. Look, there, I'm good. I did it. It's like exactly what I was talking about with these awareness things and whatnot. The stuff that I rant about on Facebook. It's like, oh, cool. You shared a copy and paste status. Wow, you made a difference. And I mean, I don't think it comes from a malicious place. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we can go down that road too. But like, me not doing that, what would that matter? What would it matter? If I don't do it, I get called, saying that I'm accepting of it and I support it. If I do it, you're going to, like, people will say that I'm being fake and ingenuine or disingenuous, whatever. Like, I don't think it's a secret that doxing is wrong. So I don't feel the need to make a community post about it. That's like beating a dead horse. Like, you know what I mean, guys? I don't know. I feel like that's like a fake move. Oh, I am so exhausted, guys. Yeah, I just came from physical therapy. And I am exhausted. I wasn't feeling great yesterday because what I'm doing physical therapy on right now is my neck, to avoid having to have any surgeries and stuff there, because I have my lower back all cut out. But, I don't have anything, my neck yet. And part of my spine condition, it has some neurological effects. So I have like constant motion sickness and vertigo, and I get really bad headaches as well, and nausea subsequently. So last night I had aqua therapy last night, and we were doing some new stretches and exercises, and I came home and I was just thrown up all night. I was just so nauseous. I'm wearing my nausea band right now. I have so many of them because I have to wear them all the time. And it sucks. And like, these are the things that people don't know about me, because like, you don't see me. I'm not on here. You don't know about my life. So I love it when people come on here and they talk like they know me and they know all this stuff about me, when like, you don't even know a fraction of it. And I don't know. I guess there's some new narratives going around, but my point is that I do intend to correct history that is not, you're not going to rewrite history. Okay. Now that it suits, I see what's going on. I also want to say though, that like, I'm all about a good conspiracy theory here. And there have been times where my brain goes down roads like this and it's like a rabbit hole, but I assure you that nobody is ganging up behind the scenes to take Jessica down. That's not what's going on here at all. None of us are really conspiring. I really don't even, I actually only speak to one person outside of here. I only speak to one other creator outside of YouTube at this point. Swear to God, only one person. And yeah, so nobody is like conspiring. What you're seeing here is that people are feeling what I wanted to make a point on the fact that leaving a creator is different depending on whether you're a sub or a creator. It's a different experience. And I've had the pleasure of doing both. I left Natasha as a sub. Okay. And with Granny's Watching, I don't want to say I left Granny's Watching, because I feel it more as I was kicked to the curb. So I'm just going to say I was kicked out, because like, I don't care what she says. There's still been no proof of me doing anything to her. Imagine saying that somebody doesn't deserve the decency. If you heard somebody say that somebody doesn't deserve the decency to even be spoken to about, like, we're just going to judge them right here. And what does that make you think? To me, that makes me think of somebody that did something really terrible. Really terrible. And like, out of all these people that have actually done shit to her, she's saying that I don't deserve the decency. For what? For what? That's insinuating that I did something real terrible, and I still don't know what that is. Nobody can tell me. Nobody can tell me. Because, I mean, I have people that still support Granny that I know, who still speak to me. And, and I'm not that kind of person where I'm going to like, shun them. It's like, if it is what it is, like that, they don't have a problem with her, and that's fine. They don't have to. But they can't even tell me what the reason is. I'm like, because I'm not watching her. So if she's showing whatever, I mean, I have no fucking clue, because I don't watch. But they assure me that there's been nothing. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. That's weird. Because if you're going to if I was to say that, if I was to come out randomly out of the blue and say that Jessica doesn't deserve the decency, like, wouldn't you want me to explain why? I don't understand why there's like these different standards. Like, why does like some people have to provide receipts when others, you don't ask them for receipts? Why do some people have to prove things to you when you don't ask the person you support to prove a damn thing? And this goes all around. I'm not just talking about Granny's Watching. I see this everywhere. If I do something wrong, don't tell me I'm not. Okay? I'm asking this of people that support me. I don't want an echo chamber. Do I like to be called out? No, I don't, but I'll admit when I'm wrong. And I don't think I've heard Granny take accountability for a single thing. All these people are saying the things that she's done to hurt them, and not one of them has she stood up and said, I'm sorry, or even acknowledged that it happened. All of it's being deflected, and that didn't happen, and twisted into something else. And I mean, I don't like that, and I mean, Lindsay and I kind of talked like via chat, like on her live yesterday, and I don't think she'll mind me saying this, because she told me kind of what her issue with me was, and so this is kind of my thing with Lindsay was that I felt that same way about her, is that I felt that people were throwing these accusations, and some of the things that I know that she did do, one in particular thing, and she's admitted it now, and everybody, it doesn't matter, I'm moving on from that, like, but I knew, and nobody was taking accountability, and what she was saying was like, yes, I did it, but don't you see that this person did X, Y, or Z? But here's the difference, though, Granny, is that Lindsay has now realized that in order to take true accountability, she has come on here and she said she's sorry and taken accountability without the but afterwards. And she has said she's sorry. I think she's been accused of quite a bit of things that she hasn't done, but I mean, everything that I was thinking, like, she's admitted to. And apologized and live, like, not to me. I've never spoken to her behind the scenes. I sent her an email like back in probably December. But like publicly, she's admitting to the things that she's done. And I've heard a big change in how she addresses things like that. And I respect that. That was my biggest issue with Lindsay. In fact, like I was actually listening to the video I did when I was talking about that. What the heck? There's in a textbook that focuses explicitly on ethical and legal issues related to digital marketing. The topic is too specialized, and the instructor had to assemble a bunch of readings. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of online readings. Okay, yeah, my dad was texting me. I have to get my books for my new term of school. I'm taking an ethics class, ethics in marketing. So I think I could apply that to YouTube pretty well. I'm excited for this class. I'm pumped. Ethics is kind of my jam. I was raised I happen to be related to the ethics king. He doesn't like me saying that, though. But anyways, but what I'm saying is Lindsay, before, like, and this is how I read into things. So if she's listening and she disagrees, I am very open to having a conversation with her about it. My point, though, was what I'm trying to say is that I see change. And I really respect that. I don't think anybody is inherently good or inherently bad. I think we're all human. And sometimes, you have to learn how to handle things. And it's hard to take accountability for stuff sometimes. It is. We've all, I mean, I know I myself have done some sneaky stuff and some, I'm not above that. I've talked shit with the best of them, and nobody likes to get called out in my life. I've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. But I think the most sincere apologies and what people want to hear from you, like, that really demonstrates true change and acknowledgement is saying, yes, I did that and it was wrong, without the, but look at what this person did, or without the, but only because that person did that. Just leave it. Don't qualify it. Just say it was wrong. And I've seen Lindsay do that, and I think that's great. And I personally don't have an issue with Lindsay. Some things that I thought about Lindsay, I don't believe are true anymore, and she has shown receipts. There are some things that she did do, and she's been open about that. And the big major one that really, like, kind of set me, that I was like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. She's admitted to and acknowledged, and she has apologized, which I never thought I'd ever hear in my entire life. I'll be honest with you. And I'm so glad I did. So that's the thing. When all these people, like, are we all lying? If so many people have been hurt by Granny, don't you think one of those things is probably true? Like, statistics says that some of those things are true. Statistically, it's not possible for it all to be false. But yet that's how she plays it off. It's a lot like Natasha, except Natasha's gotten a little bit better at the grift, and I don't even want to say this because I don't want to give any hints or anything, because I if I say this, we're going to see this next. But if I call it first, then we'll know where it came from. But what Natasha does sometimes is she will take, and sometimes it's a big thing too, because that's what works best, and she'll apologize for it. So people will be like, well, she apologized for this. So suddenly that cancels out everything else. So they're like, well, yeah, Natasha apologizes, and she'll purposely pick something that she won't get a whole bunch of blowback for, but also still makes her look like a piece of shit. You know what I mean? It's manipulative. And I've noticed that. And I've noticed a lot, and I'm excited to get through the rest of Drama Divides live because I was really enjoying it. I'm sorry I missed it, but like I said, I couldn't even look at screens. I couldn't even eat. I made stuffed shells for dinner, and like I was so excited about them, and like I took a couple bites, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up because my motion sickness, and it's getting bad right now too, so I might have to take some Dramamine. If anybody else has any tips for nausea, please let me know. Please, please, please. I've tried, like, in other points in my life where I've done the ginger chews. I've tried, like, there was like a medication. It was like sickly sweet. It was gross. I have the nausea bands, like the C bands. I have those on. If you have any other tips for that kind of thing, anybody else who suffers from it, please drop those in the comments. Because I'd love to hear some tips from anybody who has experienced it, because it's miserable. It's miserable. And I don't know quite what else to do, so I'm already like destroying my body with the amount of like Tylenol and naproxen I take, because my back hurts so badly. But like I don't talk about my health issues on here. I do have plenty, and I have kidney issues that are borderline problematic because of a lot of things, but I shouldn't still take naproxen and Tylenol the way I do, but I can't help it. What else am I going to do? I'm doing physical therapy now, so hopefully that helps. But anyways, that's off topic. All part of my ADHD charm. And that's hurtful too, right? I know I have ADHD, and I can come off. I'm a lot. I talk a lot. I talk a mile a minute. I have a lot to say. I text a lot. I have a whole streams of consciousness and stuff, and that's just kind of who I am. And I know it's not for everybody, but to then like kind of make fun of it and call me creepy and obsessed, like, how am I creepy or obsessed with you, Jessica? That's just who I am. And some people dig it and some people don't. And some people, but it's like, I don't know. Can't change who I am, but I care. And I think that's the biggest point, is I care. And why would I be obsessed with you? I don't understand that. I liked you. I cared about you. You were my friend. I'm passionate about my friendships. I care very deeply. If that's being obsessed, then maybe like, have you not like experienced that? Having a true friend. I don't know. That says a lot to me. I don't even know. But like, and here's the thing, like, it's like all these people are just writing me off as like this horrible person because I've chosen to speak about these things. But like, why shouldn't I? I was hurt. I didn't start this. I didn't want to do this. There are times where I wish I had just kept my mouth shut, because it's not helping me doing this. You think this is helping me? No, it's destroying my channel to do this. But I'm not going to go on being silent and being somebody's doormat. I deserve better than that. And you can try to paint me in whatever light that you want. You can say whatever you want about me. It doesn't change the truth. You know the truth, and I know the truth. And no matter what either of us say, it doesn't change it. The difference is that I try to live in the truth. Truth is important to me. The truth will set you free, but first it will make you miserable. And I live by that. And I'm really sick of my personal life and my family dynamic and my past and all of these things being discussed here, there, and everywhere. It's not your business. I have my own life. Oh, apart from my family. But I have a great family. So, I am grateful and honored and just so appreciative that I have such a great family. that I have not always been the best person to. And I've worked very hard to, rebuild that connection. I went from literally, I was living in Massachusetts, and we lived maybe about an hour away. I lived an hour away. And yeah, we were living like an hour away from my parents. And even so, and I would come back to Rhode Island for different doctor's appointments and whatnot, but it was at a point like towards the like before I kind of got my life and shit together, I would maybe talk to them 3 or 4 times a year. Like it really, we never saw each other. I maybe saw them like 3 or 4 times a year. And I went from that. Oh, where's my AirPod? Fuck. I went from that to living with them. So we kind of had to address our differences and kind of fix everything. Hold on, guys. I dropped my AirPod. Oh, don't tell me it's lost in the couch. Where's it down my shirt? What? Is it down my shirt? No. Oh, come on. I already lost one pair of these. Hold on, guys. What the fuck? Hold on. I gotta go turn the light on. Chippery, what did you do? What did you do to it, Chick Chick? Hi, Paolo. Hey, Poops. What you doing? Hey, Paolo. Hey, handsome. Where did you put my headphone? Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. It's gonna bother me if I don't find it now, though. Where could it possibly have gone? Damn it. Oh, is it in the chair? What the fuck? What is this? Oh, it's a squishy toy. Guys, I am upset right now. It fell out of my ear when I was talking, and now it's somewhere. I don't know if it's like down my shirt. It's not on the chair. I don't see it. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. It's gonna bother me if I don't find it. What the fuck? It's not down my shirt. That's for sure. Let me look. You guys can like listen to me struggle here. That'll be fun, right? In the chair? What the hell? Chicory, where did you put it, honey? Where did it go? Did you hide it? I literally just watched it fall. Oh, I'm going to be raging if I can't find this. This is the second pair of AirPods that have mysteriously vanished. Can't find new ones. I shouldn't have to buy new ones. It's in the chair somewhere. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I'll give up in a minute. Don't worry. I'll see if I can have somebody help me take this apart. What the fuck? Paolo, no. Oh. Oh, are you purring? Here, you guys want to hear Paolo purr? Yeah. Hi, Popes. Hi. You guys hear him? Hey, buddy. This is Paolo. Meow. 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 There you are. See? Are you talking to me? Meow. Meow. Paolo. Don't step on the computer. Say hi, Paolo. Oh God, I don't even know where that went. What the hell? Damn it, I was hoping you guys could hear my cats, and maybe he turned off the audio. I hope you guys got to hear him. He was talking to you all. I did find my headphone, so crisis averted, guys. Crisis averted. Sorry about that. I don't know when the audio cut out, but okay. What else I don't even remember what I was talking about now. What was it? Oh yeah, so it's kind of different leaving as a creator rather than a sub, right? So like if you're a sub, some creators will call you out on that stuff. So I've even noticed lately, and this is just my observation, so maybe you disagree. But my observation is, at least these days, Natasha's not calling people out the way that like Granny is. And I just don't see people that happening. I feel like, in fact, I'd be yeah, I mean, Granny has like an issue with people being anywhere. I mean, I saw that happen with Country Joe yesterday, and I was disappointed. I was like, that wasn't even what the topic was, and it's, first of all, Country Joe hasn't been live in a while, so if you haven't seen her, like anybody over there, it might be because she really hasn't been live often. But I've always supported Country Joe, and I always will. I really like her, and I've said that 1,000 times. So I don't really particularly care personally who she chooses to support. It doesn't change the fact that I like her as a creator, and I think she's a good person. That's just my opinion. I will never ever be unhappy to see CJ in the chat, but I did click on it because I was thinking about going in the chat. And then I kind of saw that what was going on, and I was like, oh God. Yeah. So I went to the beginning because at that point, like everything was on topic and fine, and it hadn't been derailed. But I feel like stuff like that puts creators in a bad position, Like if a creator has an issue with something, I don't think it's appropriate. And I didn't see when it happened on CJ, so I'm not referring to CJ here. I mean, maybe this is how it went down. So I don't know. Like for this statement, I'm talking about what Dorothy's been doing, or like a week ago. And like the topic has nothing to do, like the topics, let's use Gold Star Mom, for example. The topic had nothing to do with me. Now, Gold Star Mom and it's like a tongue twister for me for some reason. Gold Star Mom and I think her name's Sarah, right? Sarah. Might be easier for me to just say Sarah, but I'll say Gold Star Mom. I know she's been public about that. I'm not, not saying anything that's not already said. My name's Emma, so there you go. But she and I, we don't really know each other. We haven't chatted really that I know of. Or else she's been under a different name at some point. And I don't really know much about her. I didn't even know she had a channel, to be honest with you, because I wasn't really on YouTube when any of that stuff was really going down. And so I went to her live because I saw people that I'm familiar with in there. So I went in and said hello, and I go in, and all of a sudden, Dorothy's up on panel dragging me, and the topic wasn't me at all because Gold Star Mom doesn't know me, and Dorothy was just up there saying the usual stuff. I didn't hear anything new in that. It's not like other people where there's a new thing that I've done. It's like, what else have I lied about? What else? What's new today? Today, though, I mean, in news of Granny, today I'm being accused of lying to her about the video of Natasha describing her home. Right. So why is it that other people remember it then? Why is it that I'm not the only person who remembers that? I have the clip somewhere. I'll look for it. I'm looking through my stuff now. I'm sure I'll find it. But like a lot of people said that, like Leanne and Christiane the other day said that they remember it happening too. So like how am I lying if people remember? I'd like to know that. So I mean, that's like a Johnny Depp quote, by the way, from his trial. Mr. Rottenborn was like showing it. He's like, I'd like to see what else I lied about, in Johnny Depp voice. And I was like, oh, I like that. Like, I feel that way. What else have I lied about? And it's frustrating, but that's the thing. It puts people in a bad position because it's like, I don't know. That's my whole thing with lives, though. It's like, I am fine with anybody being in my live. If you have an issue with me, or like an issue with somebody else in the chat or whatever, like we don't need to be off topic. Like I have a hard enough time staying on topic. Like I think it's kind of rude to go into somebody else's chat and go after somebody in the chat. Like if you're gonna go on there, like be respectful and like participate in the chat with what the creator's talking about. I never liked that. That always like kind of upset me. I've seen it done. I've seen it done in CJ's before, like months and months and months ago. But it's like let creators do their thing. Like if it has nothing to do with the creator, then who cares who's in a chat? Who cares? People are allowed to be in chats. What the heck? Is someone outside my door? People are allowed to be in whoever chat. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think it's interesting that, like, if you like a creator, like nobody asks questions and says, like, where's your proof of this? They just take it as fact on face value. Like, I think if people really took a step back to like think, they'd realize that like I haven't done the things I'm being accused of. And I mean, I am, like I said, I am not above admitting when it's something I have done. However, I haven't heard anything yet. And I'm not admitting to stuff I didn't do. I mean, I can be petty. I can certainly be a bitch. I talk shit with the best of them. I may have said something about whoever. I mean, I probably did, but nothing that I would say would be like really terrible, like in the grand scheme of things. And I'll apologize for it, or I'll double down and say, yeah, I meant it. I mean, I don't know. It depends. It depends. But here's the thing. Like my whole thing is like with this thing of flip-flopping. To me, a sign of intelligence is being able to process new information that you obtain to influence your decisions. So to have somebody like question your moral standing and what you stand for and your integrity because you change your mind about somebody when you learn stuff about them, that doesn't make sense to me. Because what would be jeopardizing integrity is to stick around with somebody who you found out is doing stuff that like you don't agree with. Why is there someone outside my house? Go away. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's a little late for the mailman. I don't know. I'm creeped out, guys. Go away. Why are you standing there? Oh, bye. Who the fuck is that? Sorry. It's weird. And now see, now I've lost my train of thought again. Can't be doing this. Oh yeah. So like what that I don't understand why that's like held against people as a flaw. I saw that post today of like, you've become everything you stand against. Like, do you hear yourself though? And that says two things to me. It's like I'm seeing things more now, and I saw them like months ago, like long before I decided to kind of get to know her and give her a chance, because I've always liked Jess and I always felt like I connected with her. But then I did start to see stuff that I didn't really agree with. And that's my right to, but I never like came on here and dragged her or even spoke about her publicly. Like I didn't do that. It didn't happen. And then I was like, you know what? I didn't like the way she was being treated. So I started doing those videos standing up for her. And then I talked to her and we started to get to know each other. And I was like, I really like her. And, whatever. Like, I was like, maybe I was wrong. But I don't know. I can't unsee it now. And, it's like, you're saying that other people are flip-flopping and whatnot, but like it's like you're looking in a mirror, but you're seeing somebody else, but it's really your reflection. Because I mean, I don't consider what I do flip-flopping. What I'm doing here, or even really hate bonding for that matter, like I'm not going over to other people's chats just because I'm angry. What I'm doing is I'm opening up my horizons here because I found out that stuff I was being told wasn't true, and stuff I was angry at some people at weren't true. But I also believe in change, and I don't like the things that I was like morally I kind of couldn't rock with certain people. They're not like that now. Like some of them, it's been years later, and some of them have taken accountability for their actions. And I do believe in change, and I believe the same could be true of Natasha or Jessica. I don't know. Anybody can change, but like it has to be consistent and genuine. So that's what I'm doing. I don't really run to people's enemies to like, scheme and plot with them. Maybe other people do that, but that's not my intention. My intention is to get to know people that I wrote off because of Jess and how she felt about them, or the things I was being told about them, because I want to know for myself now. Because if you catch somebody in one lie, and then two, and then three, and then all of this starts happening, then you start to wonder how much else were you lied to about. You know what I mean? So I'm going to find out for myself. And there's still people that I'm not, and it's not even about like her. And she's all saying that like she has every right to talk about stuff in her community that she's part of. Well, I'm part of this community too. So if I want to participate in a conversation in somebody else's chat, I will. Why shouldn't I? If it was just doing it, you'd say, oh, she's just, reaching out to her community and connecting and being supported and lifted up. But like, if I'm doing it, it's hate bonding. Okay. And it's like, she can't even take nothing anybody says have I heard her take accountability for. Not a single thing. And I don't know now, like, statistically, something's got to be true. And if somebody's denying absolutely everything constantly and like that's a red flag. And I overlooked a lot of it because I liked her and I believed in her. And like, I thought maybe, my gut instinct with like stuff that I thought might be going on wasn't true. Like, and I did see changes in her, or at least I thought I did. And then part of me is now thinking maybe she was just like this the whole time. So maybe she hasn't changed in what she stands for, or and hasn't flip-flopped, but like she's just gotten sloppy and lets that mask drop. Maybe she's been like this the whole time, but like, calling people out for being in chats, going up on a panel and like kind of hijacking it because there are people you don't like in the chat and making it about yourself. Like it is Natasha-like behavior. I'm sorry, not sorry. Telling lies when somebody's like, when somebody's like exposing you or like leaves, and then all of a sudden it's the same thing. They were crazy. You never liked them. You never trusted them. They're nuts. They're obsessed. They're jealous. It's the same things. And you can't deny that. And I just don't understand what's going on either, because it's like, some of this is like the same people that used to say what a good person I am and true, and I wore my heart on my sleeve and that I'm genuine. And I believe that I am those things, but it's like those same people now have me blocked. Why? And this is like 4 or 5 of like, her biggest supporters and names that you'd know anywhere. Ones that I thought liked me, ones that I've had conversations with and have gotten to know. And, and then all of a sudden usually what I used to use the block button for, and I almost have nobody blocked actually. I can't really be bothered, but like, usually I would use it if somebody was harassing me, like they were coming at me and going chat to chat, harassing me. But I don't do that. That's not in my like repertoire of like behaviors. I don't troll. I don't like hop chat to chat, like adding people obsessively. I don't attack people in chats. I'm not going to disrespect a creator like that. So I really don't understand why I would need to be blocked. And it's a bunch of you that I've noticed, because I'll see people saying hello to you in chats, but I can't see you. And then some of you have comments brought up, but I can't see you in the chat. So like, I know I'm blocked, and I want to know why that is, because if it was like a bunch of random people, I wouldn't think that there was anything to it. I'd just be like, okay. No, but it's a very select group. Is it because you're saying things about me that you don't want me to see? Is that it? Because I haven't bothered any of you, and nor would I. Like, I wouldn't even bring your names into this. It has nothing to do with you. I mean, not that I know of anyway. You know, is that what it is? Or like, do you maybe deep down feel bad and like don't want me to see the things that you're saying to fit in and, you know, be part of this whole whatever this is? Like, I don't know. It really baffles me how people could believe that I've done these things, could believe that that's who I am when I've been very upfront and honest. I try to be anyway. You know, if I say something that's incorrect, like if I have wrong information and I'm corrected, I'll say I'm sorry. I'll correct it. My intention is never to come on here and lie and be, you know, but you know, to have somebody call me a grifter, it's like, what? How am I a grifter? I've shown receipts for absolutely everything I've done. Have you? Like, no. It's like everything that like they're insecure or fear about themselves, they'll like put on somebody else. I don't understand it. And like, I just the stuff that I've seen lately, I don't know how people, like nobody's ganging up on her. It's just a lot of us have had similar experiences. A lot of people have been quiet for quite some time because nobody wants to be on the receiving end of this. It's not pleasant. This isn't benefiting my channel at all. And like I said earlier, there are times that I wish I had kept my mouth shut. But then at the same time, I have every right to speak, and I'm honored at the fact that me coming forward with my story has encouraged others to speak or to feel comfortable showing up in chats elsewhere. So, I mean, I don't take responsibility. I can't say that like I'm leading the charge here because I'm certainly not leading anything. But if I can, you know, make somebody else feel comfortable doing something like that, then great. Like if you're a creator, what you need, like what you worry about is like, you know, when things like this happen and it's somebody that's had a lot of influence and impact on your channel because a lot, you know, we all share similar, like a similar group of subs, you know, you're risking your entire channel blowing up and blowing up. And that's what's happening to mine. So I'm not gaining anything from doing this. So that begs to like leads to the question of why would I be doing this if it wasn't true? This has not benefited me. Go look at my sub count. It doesn't benefit me. Why would I do that? That makes like you really need to like look at the big picture and stop like having your blinders on. Like she's literally been proof that there have been lies. And if somebody lies about one thing, or if they lie about something that you're like, wow, who lies about something like that? They're probably lying about a lot more. And the more I've looked and the more I've seen, the more it's been clear that you know, that the fact of the matter is that she's not being honest sometimes. And I don't know why it's like so horrible for somebody to say that. Like it's not against the law to say something. You know, people act like, you know, she's being I can't. I can't. You know, doxing should be wrong when it happens to anybody. There should be outrage when it happens to anybody. Okay? Like, I just feel like, you know, whether if it's not Natasha or if it's not Granny's watching, nobody gives a shit. But then you have people that have had a lot happen to them, right? And I'm not speaking to myself, but like this isn't my reasoning for it, but it's reasoning I've heard from other people that it's like nobody gave a shit when anything like that happened to them. You know, they're kind of numb to it. It's like, cool, you know? You know, that happened to me too, and nobody cared. I was on my own. So yeah, I mean, some people are kind of bitter with that. But it doesn't mean that they're like condoning it. They're not like, wow, it's so great you were doxxed. Nobody has said that. Now, I do think it's interesting though that, you know, Mandy has had that information for a very long time. And, you know, you've had your name out there for a very long time. And all anybody would have to do to find any of that is Google. So instead of being afraid of Mandy, who, you know, she did her time, what, like 10 years ago, and she hasn't been arrested or anything since. She's, you know, she's been part of this community for quite some time, and she's had it out with other creators, and she's done similar things, but, you know, she doesn't go and leave her house and like go out and, you know, hurt people, you know? She doesn't have a history of that. She has a history of speaking words. She sure does. But you know, I would be more afraid of random people seeing it, not Mandy. And, you know, she's had that information for a long time. She never did anything with it. You have no idea who has that information because they Googled it and you don't know. You know what I mean? I would be more afraid of random people, and I don't know why. I mean, I have questions. So, you know, speaking about that doesn't mean that I'm like, you know, saying it's okay. I'm really tired of that. My mind was blown. I'm like, who was cheering on your demise? Has anybody seen somebody cheering on Granny's Watching's demise? I haven't. Have you seen somebody wishing harm upon her? I haven't. You know, I'm also a little bit suspicious of like these threatening messages started coming in, like, you know, right when that happened. Do you think that Mandy's really live talking like that and then is sending who cares enough to do that? I don't know. And like it's just like sometimes it's very convenient when these threatening messages seem to always come in. And you know, it's like douche canoe, like nobody's seen them. It's very easy to say that someone did something like that and then not. You know what I mean? I hope nobody's doing that, but I mean, I don't know. Doesn't add up to me. But that's okay. Because I don't see anybody okay with it. Like a lot of stuff has gone down in this community, and like, you know, a lot of people have been very angry at Natasha, and everything on here is like her whole name. Everybody knows where she lives. Everybody knows all of her family members, all of that. And nobody's done anything. That I believe anyway. And like people seem to forget that Natasha was the one who pulled up, you know, when she literally typed her name into a Google search bar, which pulled up a picture of her with her ex, which was all up on the screen where they were going through different names of family members. I mean, I have screenshots, and I'll be showing that in my live. So like Natasha did this all on a live months ago. So, you know, and Dorothy kind of, you know, pulled her address down in the search bar here. You know, and but it's like the thing about it though is that it's not. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. But like, if your whole name is out there, you don't know who. All you have to do is Google it. Like, you don't know who has information on you. I don't know who has information on me. Everybody knows my name. Once your full name is out there, I mean, you really just don't know. And I mean, I have questions, and I just like the timing and like everything like that. I don't want to talk on the phone right now. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right, I'm back. But I'm tired of like the double standards and like the hypocrisy and stuff. And I just found it like ironic that, you know, apparently we're the ones who don't stand for anything. Well, you know, my core values have never changed. My core values have never ever changed, and they never will, because that's what core values are. I won't do stuff and the thing is that when you find out that stuff is being done that go against your core values, it's okay to change your mind about a person, place, or thing. I think that's a sign of intelligence, is to use that information and not continue to blindly follow, even though you know those things. You know what I mean? I don't see why that's like, you know, depicted as some sign of weakness or like some sign of like you're less, I don't know, like you have less integrity than anybody else. Are you kidding me? And then to say that you don't flip flop. I'm sorry though. When Granny does it, it's called being an adult. That's right. Because you and Brittany kind of, you know, we're not going to lie, you know, I don't really see that as But I'm sorry, guys. Like, we need to remember that, that's called being an adult. But the rest of us are just flip-floppers, right? And it's hilarious because, like, you sit next to some of the biggest flip-floppers, but you don't say shit to them. When have I really flip-flopped? I changed my mind about people. It's not illegal. If I was to stay with somebody that I'm uncomfortable with what they're doing, that would be like a jab to my integrity. That would make my integrity lesser. Not me using information that I learn to get myself out of a situation where there's stuff going on that I don't agree with. I'm not going to stay with somebody who doesn't like me. I don't want to be like, I'm not going to be somebody's lapdog that like hates my guts and is talking crap and has been behind the scenes talking crap. How pathetic would that be if I stayed? So I don't understand why people are blaming me for this. Would you do? Well, I mean, a lot of people do stay, but like, I don't blame people. But when you're a creator, you put your channel at risk doing this. Like, for some people, it's like a money move, and you can kind of see where that is. But this is not that for me. I'm not over in other people's chats, like poaching subs or anything like that. All I'm doing is digging a hole. But it's one that's necessary for me to get out of a very toxic situation. And you guys just don't know. Like, you act like I don't know why everybody could say this and it not be true, but like, when you just trust when I say that, like, you don't know. You don't know. And if you knew the truth, I think you'd see things very differently, or maybe you wouldn't. But I'm still waiting on what I've lied about or what I've done that doesn't deserve decency. Her and Brittany J, they could, talk and work it out and be adults, but I don't deserve the decency? Are you fucking kidding me? Unbelievable. But I'm the problem. Okay. Sure. Yep. Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So, I mean, when those receipts, if I see those receipts, then great. Show me what I did that's so horrible and doesn't, makes it so I don't deserve decency. And I did come to you privately, and you know that. I asked if we were cool. I said that I was picking up on some vibes. You didn't respond. At no point did I go out and talk crap about you and drag you. You will not find anything, public or private, until I found out about what was going on with that Discord. I might have had a few things to say. Well, no, the only things I said, like, after I got attacked because of my community post that wasn't about Granny, that she assumed was about her, and then everybody was dogpiling on me for no reason. Like, not everything is about you. And if you think it is, what does that say? I don't know. Why do your people think it's about you? I don't fucking know. That's not my problem. I'm not going to tiptoe around and like censor myself and, not say things because people might think I'm talking about Granny, or Granny might think I'm talking about her. No, that's no way to live. And I might as well not have a channel at all if that's how I'm going to do this. Fuck that. Why is there someone outside my house? I don't know what's going on. The gentleman that lives next door to me has a I don't know what he does with it. He has a big truck, like a commercial truck, like big, like one of those kind of like a UPS truck. And he's always working on it. I don't know what he's doing. But I just don't think it's fair, right? Like, I didn't do anything to her. So yeah, when I found out that when I said that happened, I did say to somebody that I felt hurt. But telling somebody you feel hurt isn't dragging or doing anything that's not acceptable. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I wasn't saying anything in my lives about her. I never spoke about her. You won't find anything about her that's negative until all of that until I found out that she was sharing my message in the Discord as a response to something that didn't happen. if I had done something to you, I don't know, but I didn't. But, it turns out that you've been kind of spinning this narrative about me for a long time. And that's what I mean by impacting my bottom line. That's what I mean by that. Is that by you slandering me and saying these things about me to turn people against me, you took away the support to my channel and my memberships. And now I found out that that was all being done behind the scenes. I've seen it. So, that's hurtful to find out that somebody you thought was your friend that you've never spoken about outside of negatively and you've defended and you've done all this stuff. If you didn't like me, then just don't even then tell me. Don't just throw me under the bus. Like what Lindsay said, you threw me under the bus and I didn't even know I was on the street. I really think you need to get a grip and think to yourself, I wasn't talking about you. Show me where I was talking about you. I have no idea. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. I mean, there's so much that goes on in this community that if, I was racking my brain as to what I possibly could have said, but I'm there's been so much going on. There's so many creators. I don't know why she assumes something's about her or else it is. But it's not. Nothing was about her. I'll own it if it was. I'm telling you. I'm being straight up honest with you. I mean, before anything went down, you might have, there's some text that I say, I feel disappointed and I feel hurt. But that's it. That's it. Nothing else. I didn't say jack shit. And let me tell you, people have been telling me for a long time all this stuff. And I would just defend her. And I'd be like, you don't know her like I do. That's not what she meant. No, that you're reading into it too much. Nope, that didn't happen. Nope, she said she didn't do that. And, at some point, my mods, they just, especially Rody Gal, it's we stopped even discussing it because she knew I wasn't going to budge. I received all those emails saying that she didn't like me and that she hated me. It turns out they were right. Nothing that I've done or said about her was before she went after me. She started this. But yet I'm the one. I'm the problem. Right. I want to know how and why. And nobody can tell me. I've asked this question. Nobody can tell me. Nobody has an answer. Nobody can tell me why I'm such a bad person. You think if there was all this evidence and I was just so horrible, you would think that there would be, I don't know, clips of it or, that's what clip channels are for. It seems like every time anything else happens, there's clip videos of it. I haven't seen any about myself because I didn't do that. I didn't speak about her. And if it's something you thought I was speaking about her, prove it. You can't be. I know I wasn't speaking about her. I mean, but if you would like clarification, we can go through all of my lives since a particular date, and I can tell you who I'm speaking about because at this point I give no fucks. At this point, I will tell everybody anything. You want to know what I think of you? I will straight up tell you. I don't hate people. I dislike some people. I don't care for some people's content, but that doesn't mean I don't like them as a person. I just don't find some people's content engaging. And that's just my opinion. You probably don't like mine. You know what I mean? But I mean, if people are curious, all you have to do is ask. Nobody ever bothers to come ask me. Oh no, they'll just take Jessica's word for it. Because Jessica knows what I think about everything, right? And I'm such a grifter. And you know what? I mean, that kind of sucks that she put that person in that position because I wasn't looking at the chat, so I have no idea whether this person was in chat saying that I scammed them. Which is what I addressed in my last video. So I'm not sure, but part of me is thinking that that person was upset and was saying stuff because I didn't respond to their emails and they felt they were upset by that, which is fine. I admit to that. I should have been more, I should have I should, if you were asking me to check my email, I should have just done it there and then before it was out of sight, out of mind. And I apologize for that. Like I said, it's not my strong suit. ADHD, that's one of my biggest symptoms. But like then to hear that like Jess is up there saying I asked them for money. Now, I don't know if that was being said in the chat or not. I've had a couple people come to me and say that it was said in the chat. So it's on that person for lying. But part of me is thinking that that's another example of just taking something and exaggerating upon it and adding to it to, give it more of a dramatic effect and to make it more effective as a tool to like, get people to hate my guts. I never asked anybody for money. Never. I did a fund. And I've explained it and I've shown receipts for everything the first fund that I have was completely refunded to everybody because I didn't put a bank account in fast enough and I didn't want to touch the money until Chicory's appointment because I wanted everybody to know that that's where it was going because I started the fundraiser in February. So I wanted people to see that the money was still in there until Chicory's appointment. But I didn't put a bank account in because I have ADD and I don't know. I can't explain to you how these things happen, but this is my life. If you have ADHD, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you have a loved one that has it, you understand. But to other people, they're just like, some people just don't get it. But I didn't. And I didn't do it. So they got refunded. In fact, the email said that they had been refunded and they were wondering why. And I responded, but I never asked them for money after that. Never. I would never do that. I'm not entitled to anybody's money. Especially if I had just done all that. Why would I'm not like that. There's nobody. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't even like. It's rich coming from someone like her. It really is. It really is. I've never asked anybody on here for money except for like my funds and I'll, ask, encourage people to grab a membership. But doesn't everybody do that? If somebody donates to my fund, I mean, I'm not forcing them. I appreciate every single person that helped me. It was I couldn't have done it without people. Like, that was a godsend. But I'm not on here every day dropping my links constantly, dropping my wish lists, making a new PayPal fund every day. I'm barely on here. So how am I scamming anybody? I've done exactly what I say I'm going to do with the money both times. The first time, it was refunded. So that doesn't count. But with this, my latest one with Texas, I showed receipts. And if anybody wanted more info privately, I sent it to them. I don't care. I'm all about transparency. But I'm being called the scammer. Okay. Because I'm the only one that's shown that money goes specifically to a cause, right? I mean, we're going to get into that about Natasha too. With the whole Mrs. Portland situation, I have quite a bit to say about that. I'm not going to lie. I'm not comfortable with a bunch of stuff with that whole situation. And some of it is going to be things people want to hear. Some of it might not be. But the fact of the matter is that, a lot of stuff. It's like, she was able to raise $20,000 for her own attorneys. If Noodle Mash was able to get a civil suit done this quickly, right? She raised the money and then she had the court date and it was all done. It's all done now. It's over. What are you doing, Natasha? Are people not like opening their eyes and they're like, wow, I donated like money to this 20,000 a year ago and nothing's happened when Noodle Mash just made that happen? Not a single person has been served for Natasha. None. Zero. So where's the money? What did you do with it? Because it wasn't used on anything legal. That's for damn sure. Wasn't used to make YouTube a safe place for subs again. That's for damn sure. Oh, but she couldn't be bothered to, put a link in for Mrs. Portland. She couldn't be bothered to maybe try to raise a grand or two to help Mrs. Portland have a lawyer or a mental health advocate. Not an advocate, a YouTube self-proclaimed advocate. Not you, Natasha, because you just made it worse. That disgusts me. Because regardless of what Mrs. Portland did or whatever, she deserves fair representation. And she was counting on people. And here you are coming in there to make her content. You made this whole thing content. So you're making money off of this. Does any of that go to Mrs. Portland? The whole situation is sickening. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm very uncomfortable with it. The fact that, like, the fact that she even brought up her YouTube channel and that they were taken down. Like, how is that relevant? You're going to say you're her advocate? No. And she'll just use it for content and use it to make money. And Mrs. Portland will be the one who suffers. Mrs. Portland will be the one who has to, answer for consequences if anything comes. And I think that's disgusting. I truly do. I really do. And instead, she's, faulting Noodle Mash for proceeding with this. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't really know the circumstances of that. I don't really know Noodle Mash well, but like, I don't know. I really honestly don't know much about the situation, but I did watch Natasha's live yesterday, and I did see that like she went in as like representation, and she absolutely did say that she had her and this is how she phrased it too, guys, because I have a clip. She's like, I had my mods listening in. So if you say something like that, that's not that they had called in themselves. I had them listening in means that she was somehow like had it on speakerphone or was recording it while it was going on. And I don't know if that's legal or not. That sounds awfully not kosher, if you ask me. Oh, but what do I know? And I feel bad because, like her or not, Mrs. Portland's the one stuck in the middle here. Mrs. Portland is the one that, like, this is her real life. And Natasha Cooper here is inserting herself into this. And, like, there's no appeals process or anything. So if she starts a fund for that, that's bullshit. And even Noodle Mash has said that she doesn't hate Mrs. P. She wants nothing bad to happen to Mrs. P. She wants people to not harass Mrs. P, leave her alone. Noodle Mash has said that. So it's done. It's over with. You don't need to make it into more content. And like, people only get one side of the story. And like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not speaking on it because I don't really know Noodle Mash's side of the story. So like, and I don't actually even really know Mrs. Portland's side of the story. I just know what Natasha said. So although I'm familiar with Mrs. Portland, so I know I can imagine what kind of went down. So I don't know. That just really, it bothered me. It bothered me. Natasha's no lawyer. She's no mental health advocate. That's for damn certain. But it was like, it's all for what content? That's gross. And she couldn't even help. You know how easy it would have been for your community to rally around and help Mrs. Portland with this? You could have done it in a night. You raise more money for yourself per live. If you really cared about Mrs. P, if you really gave a shit about her and her situation, and you're like her having an outcome that you supposedly think was the appropriate one, you should have helped her get an actual lawyer instead of telling her to go look for free ones, because you're not going to find that, and you damn well know that. People don't like to pay higher taxes, so guess what gets cut from the board first when it comes to stuff like that. Mental health services, free services like legal aid and medical aid. That's the first stuff to go. I'm not trying to talk about, I'm not making this political. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, nobody likes high taxes. So, I mean, it's a whole other debate, but like, you're not going to find that for anybody under or else it's very, very specific circumstances. And like, there's a whole lot of red tape to get stuff like that. And, I don't really know how it went down with like that Hooker was supposed to help her. I don't really know, but it sounds like that was like down to the wire. But Natasha could have easily raised enough money to get her a lawyer in one night. And the community would have rallied together if Natasha asked them to. But she's too greedy. I'm sure she made that much that night to be able to do that. But no, too greedy. So how are you actually helping Mrs. Portland? Because you were raking in money yesterday, because people are like, wow, Natasha, you're such a great advocate. Here's money. And does Mrs. P get any of that? What benefits Mrs. P from any of this? Because I don't think that's fair to her. You don't have to like her to realize that, like, she's not really, I don't know. Now, I mean, I'm saying, though, I mean, like, if Noodle Mash proved her case in a court of law, then that's legit, you know, regardless. Like, I feel like from what I've heard, from, like, just a little bit that I've heard, it sounds like she had a very strong case. So regardless of whether Mrs. P had a lawyer or not, but a lawyer would be able to guide Mrs. P in not making it YouTube content afterwards for somebody else. But Natasha couldn't have that. Oh, no, Natasha wanted to use this for content. So, you know, this works out for Natasha that she doesn't actually have a legal representation or somebody guiding her on, you know, how this should proceed going forward. That would be, you know, in Mrs. P's best interest. And I think that's criminal. As somebody who's worked with people with developmental disabilities and behavior issues, I've worked with children and adults with that. I've had a very interesting life, guys, let me tell you. I was a case manager, you know, and that's what just, yeah. It's just, I'm not cool with that at all. But that's more what I would have wanted, like, representation for, so she understands, like, what she can and can't do, and that, you know, having Natasha make this content is not going to help her. But Natasha, I mean, from what I've heard, I'm just appalled. I'm just appalled. Like, in my opinion, that should be like malpractice, like illegal, like that shouldn't be allowed at all. I don't know. I don't think her having legal representation would have changed the outcome, you know, given that Noodle Mash had a strong case. But I'm more talking about, like, you know, it's not helping Mrs. P for Natasha to do this. That doesn't help her. And I want people to leave both of them alone. Neither of them deserve, like, harassment and stuff. Just, you know, that's all my stance on that. But I was just disgusted with, like, Natasha's whole attitude about it. And apparently a lot of what she said wasn't even accurate either. Apparently she lied about quite a bit. And you know, when the transcript comes out, that'll be easily proven. So, you know, get your super chats while you can, Natasha. Get your donations while you can. People can't get it back once they give it to you when the truth comes out. It's how these people work. They'll get as much as they can, as fast as they can. That's why she monetized her channel. She's going to do this cash grab. She's going to get the money, and she's going to get booted, and then she'll have to do it all over again. But it works for her because she does get quite a bit of money every time she does it. And I think she's realized that there's a certain amount of days and, like, time, like, days of the week that she should monetize, like, during the weekend. So she has that whole weekend to make money. It's very calculated. I mean, it's a whole thing, guys. And I've been noticing patterns. But, like, I think my point, I think my point of this whole thing, because I'm going to get off here. I don't want this to take forever to upload. But, like, I think my point is that people need to, like, open their eyes and not villainize people for being human. Like, the fact that people are to say they're disappointed in me is strange, because it's like, if somebody's not treating you well, should you have to stay with them? And yeah, I want to talk about my experience and participate in the conversation because I'm a part of it. And I had no intention of doing it, but she came for me. And that's the green light. Why does she get to drag me? And I should say nothing? I'm not being inappropriate. I'm not over here telling lies. I'm not over here doxing people. I'm not doing any of that. How is anything I'm doing harmful? And that's all, like, the whole point I'm driving home is that, like, you know, it doesn't matter what she says. It doesn't even matter what I say. It doesn't matter what any of you think. It doesn't change the truth. And some of that can be proven. Some of it can't. And I guess it's going to be up to people to think for themselves with that. But, you know, I do think a lot of people stick around for the community aspect of it, and that's fine. But like, these are people that said they liked me like a week ago, and all of a sudden I'm like public enemy number one for stuff that I didn't even do, and they can't prove. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm really sick of that gaslighting. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. My feelings are valid. My experience is valid. Other people's experiences are valid. And statistically, we can't all be lying. That's just a fact. But she's taken accountability for none of it. Everything is always somebody else's fault. Or she just didn't do it at all. There's that too. So maybe do what Natasha does and maybe take accountability for something pretty big that makes you look like a shitty person once in a while. That'll be a start. But that's just more of a con, It's just frustrating. It's frustrating if people act like this is benefiting me in any way, shape, or form. It's not. It's not. But I might as well not have a channel at all if I can't talk about things. If I can't even come on here and discuss something without her thinking it's about her. When it's not. So if that's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to cover the content that I think is like, stuff that I think people would be interested in and stuff that's going on in the community. Like we're going to go in more depth about this whole Natasha with Mrs. Portland thing. I have some clips I wanted to play for you guys. And I also want to hear Noodle Mash's side of the story. Because I'm not familiar with that. I haven't really watched Noodle Mash before, which maybe I should. That might be another one I need to check out. So all I'm doing is like giving people a chance that I had written off because Jess had an issue with them. And some of them have shown me proof that what was said about them is not true. And trust when I say I've seen proof of it. It's not my proof to put out though. You know what I mean? Other people's text messages are not mine to disclose. And I'm not going to do that. If they want to disclose it at some point, they can. They're creators, so they can show you. But I'm not going to do that. But I've seen the proof. Some of them just don't care. Like, she can say whatever they want. They have their own communities going, and it's annoying, but it's whatever. Others of them just, don't want to be bothered with speaking up about it. But like, nobody's, nobody has to, prove anything if they don't want to. That's their choice. If they want to let that lie just run, fine. But I found out with definitive proof that some of these people didn't do the things that that I thought they had. It makes you wonder. So if I'm a terrible person for that, then fine. I don't want to hurt anybody here. My goal isn't to like come on here and spew lies about Jessica. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling my truth and my story and my thoughts about what's going on in this community. Which has gotten pretty bad, might I add. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But if any good has come of this, it's that I have given some people a chance that I had not in the past, and I really like them. And I don't consider that flip-flopping. I'm not even going to say I consider that being an adult. I just think that's, getting shown proof that they didn't do the things that you were so angry about. So then what issue should I have with them? Can you tell me? Like, should I have an issue just because Jessica has an issue? No. I know that's what's expected. But I'm not sure what I did to anybody for them to just demonize me so quickly. What have I done? I'm going to continue to ask it because, like, nobody will ever give me an answer. Show me what I did. Nobody ever can. In the meantime, everybody just blocks me and turns their back on me, and suddenly I'm like the worst person on the planet. I'm a flip-flopper. I don't have any integrity. I'm like a liar. I'm a scammer. Like, they never liked me anyway. I'm creepy. I mean, the list goes on, and it's like, okay, well, these are people that said, I could show you their comments. But I'm not going to just be quiet about stuff. That's not healthy. There's no reason I shouldn't speak my truth. Sorry if you don't like it. Our truths don't have to be the same thing. Maybe you haven't experienced that yet. Maybe you never will. I hope you don't. I hope you don't have bad experiences with creators, but a lot of us have. Doesn't make mine less true. But that's the first thing that they'll try to do is if they're going to get called out, they are going to make you look as horrible as possible, as quickly as possible, and discredit you. And she's been doing that behind the scenes for a long time now. She's been working up to this. I had to go. All the while, though, pretending everything's fine. I had no clue. I just think it would be pathetic for me to stay and not say anything. That would be pathetic. After all of this. I mean, that's all I'm going to say on this for now. But I'm putting together that visual presentation, and that's going to be a good one, and I'm excited for it. And I found a lot that I didn't realize that I had. So we're not going to be rewriting history anymore. No, I have some definitive proof of some stuff, and yeah, we have some clips to go over, and we're going to talk about a few things. And there's a few things that, I'm going to be playing that's not going to make me look very good, but I want to explain myself about some of that, because like some of it I'm just curious as to where it's coming from, or like why people think that, But like I talk shit with the best of them. I will do a dramatic reading of my own text messages. I've said bad things about people that probably don't know. I don't know. Probably. But nothing like terrible. But I'm not ashamed of anything I say, and I'll stand by anything that I've said as well. I haven't been smiling to anybody's face, pretending to be their friend and talking shit about them behind the scenes. And saying you don't like somebody's content isn't talking shit about them, by the way. We're telling people that they shouldn't support somebody. If somebody's not my cup of tea and I don't really care for their content, I don't think that that's like dragging somebody. Doesn't mean I don't like them as a person. So me, being friendly with them that's not fake. That's just, I like them as a person. I don't care for their content. There's a big difference. But it's kind of where I'm at with all of that. I'm not a fake person. I'm very real. Sometimes I think that that's like the worst thing that you can be here on YouTube. It's like the more real you are, the more unwilling you are to jeopardize your integrity, the less chances you have of being successful on here. And it's unfortunately quite true. At least successful in like raking in money anyway. But I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable asking for money, period. But like, I'm certainly not comfortable. I don't think I could do what, some people on here do. I'd be very uncomfortable. I'd feel really sleazy and dishonest doing it. There's a lot of acting that goes on here. Makes you wonder. Do you really think Natasha was upset that somebody called her grandmother a hunchback? Are you fucking kidding me? She was like, I don't know. Why are they calling me a hunchback? Or my grandma. And like everybody was sending super chats because that fixes everything. Just open your wallets. It fixes everything, Somebody's doxed, open your wallet. Somebody's, grandmother's called a hunchback, open your wallet for them. Do you really think that she was upset that somebody called her grandmother a hunchback? No. Do you think she was really upset that Mrs. Portland was making fun of her Michelob Ultra? No. But she's putting on a great act of it. I have the clip somewhere. It's great. It's Academy Award winning. She's like sobbing. You can't take that seriously. Her doing that Michelob Ultra thing is a joke anyway. So why are you crying that Mrs. Portland was like making fun of it? Oh, right, because it garners sympathy and subsequently donations. That's right. That's how this works. And Natasha is the queen of it. Every little thing that happens, she'll come on. But what really got me was the making fun of that Michelob Ultra and the her grandmother's a hunchback. Because I'm like, if you're that upset about that, then you probably shouldn't even be on the internet, period. Because like people say some nasty shit on here, and if somebody was to, if you're really that upset about those things, this ain't the place for you. This is the drama community, and we need to acknowledge that too. I've been saying that for a very long time now. We need to acknowledge that this is a drama community, and stuff happens here. And just because it shouldn't happen doesn't mean we can't recognize that it is a reality. Yes, this stuff shouldn't happen, but we're a drama community and this stuff tends to happen here. So we need to take precautions. You know what I mean? Drama Divides made a very interesting point about that. And I can't remember what it was, but I will go back and look because I really liked their point that they were making. That like, if you know it's a drama community, you shouldn't do certain things. You should know better. And I think people do know better. They just, well, that's a whole other conversation. But for now, I'm going to get off of here. And like I said, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've said 1,000 times, this is not helping my channel in any way, shape, or form, me just speaking out about anything. I assure you. I know that's what you want, Jessica. So congratulations, you win. It's not going to stop me. I'm going to continue to speak my truth. I'm going to continue to speak about what I want to. And if people think I'm a horrible person for it, then I guess so be it. Sucks, but so be it. I'd love it if they could tell me what I did, though. Besides respond to somebody finding out that somebody's been just trying to like discredit you and make you seem like a terrible person and like get people to turn on you behind the scenes and never to your face, sharing your messages. And much, much more. Not really sure how I'm supposed to feel about that. It's like these are the same people that didn't judge Jess for when something bad happens to her, going chat to chat, discussing it with people. They didn't have a problem with that. That's just her interacting with her support system and community. Well, that's what I'm doing. And we're all adults. There are some very educated people in this community. And I know that people can't be that blind. Like, I just, that's what I don't understand is like, I can't be the only, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense. I didn't want any of this. I didn't want to do this at all. I wanted to just continue my content. I was doing Natasha content and stuff. Literally wasn't talking about Granny's watching. I was taking a step back because, like, I don't want to be places where people that I don't care for are. It doesn't mean that I don't support her. It just meant that I didn't really want to be anywhere that Brittany J was on panel. Sorry, I don't. It was really, I never said anything about her, though. And she knows that. She knows that. I just don't understand, like, I just don't understand how I'm being faulted for anything or what I've possibly done or any part of it. I don't understand. If I do something, I will, I take a responsibility for it. Like, I will come on here and be like, yes, I expected that. Yes, I deserved that. I've said that about Dorothy before. There are sometimes that people ask me why I wasn't upset about what Dorothy was saying about me. And my answer to them is because I poked the bear. You can't poke the bear or kick a beehive and expect not to get stung. I expected it. She has every right to respond. Every right. So I see somebody is going live, though. So I will be hopping onto that in just a moment. But that's my answer. It's always been my answer. If I do something wrong, I'm not going to like cry victim. I'm nobody's victim if I'm the one, if I put out a video about them and they respond, you know what I mean? But it really depends on like the degree of what I'm talking about. If I'm just responding and doing commentary, then I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. There were a couple videos I did about Dorothy that I feel that I don't like that I did, honestly, if I'm honest. I definitely said some stuff that I wish I hadn't. But in those specific circumstances, what can I say when she comes back at me? I mean, what do I expect, right? Like, of course she is. So that's what I'm saying. I also think that's a great point, though, that somebody made about the fact that, I don't think poking Mandy more is really going to help the situation. Like, if you want this all to dissipate, you would just leave it alone. But then, everybody, you're doing the one thing that triggers Mandy more than anything, which is showing her record from 10 years ago when she was like basically a child. That's the one thing, really gets under their skin, and it just doesn't add up, right? I mean, I can't be the only one who sees that. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm alone here. I'm not going to lie. But that's exactly what I wouldn't be doing. I wouldn't be addressing them at all. I wouldn't be having a whole chat, like dragging her looks. And so that would be the last thing that I would want to happen. Because if somebody's in that state where you genuinely feel threatened by them and you feel that they're in a mindset where they could come and hurt you, why push them? Leave it alone. That would be the wise thing to do. Pissing Mandy off any more than she is not going to be helpful. That's my point. But I guess handle it however you want. Whatever you need to. And I'm not saying don't come live. I mean, go ahead and be live, talk about everything, whatever. But doing the one thing that pretty much everybody knows will get Mandy going. And everybody knows that. I knew that. She doesn't like being judged for her past that was 10 years ago and she hasn't reoffended. Do you blame her? I mean, I wouldn't want, we can be real. I mean, those are some serious charges, right? I mean, there's no denying that. But the fact of the matter is, first of all, it was like words and stuff. It wasn't an action. Like, she didn't actually do that, which, when you look at it in the news articles, it makes it it looks terrible. Yes, it looks terrible. We can all agree that it looks pretty bad. But if you really get down to the root of like what actually happened, I mean, she made a mistake. And she served her time in, I believe, federal prison. And she hasn't reoffended since on anything, according to her. I mean, I've never looked at her like background. I don't know. I'll take her at her word. Because, I mean, somebody else would have said otherwise if it wasn't at this point. But I'm sure that was not something that I just, you can't blame her for not wanting that brought here, right? I mean, like, I didn't like it that Jessica's criminal record was brought here. I don't think that's appropriate. I don't really care what you do outside of YouTube. I don't care about your past. Especially when, like, it was 10 years ago before the frontal lobe of your brain had even developed. Because mine didn't until my late 20s. And that really affects impulse control. And you also have to understand, I'm not, like, justifying it, but, like you don't think the same way. You're more impulsive, and she did her time. That's all that matters. But the thing is that if you want to get her going, bringing that out and, like, showing all that stuff on that Mandy C Exposed or whatever, that's really going to piss her off. So, and I also don't think it's right. I mean, you don't have to like Mandy, but she shouldn't be judged by that one thing. I think we all deserve to define ourselves, and that's a big thing to kind of get away from its shadow. I mean, like, we have to be real here. That is a very big thing to have looming in your past. But the fact of the matter is, she didn't hurt anybody. And I'm not going to go on because it's going to sound like I'm like justifying and defending her. So I'm not gonna do that on this live. I might do it at some point in the future because I've had thoughts about this for a while. In fact, I actually participated in a chat like 2 years ago about this. Ironically enough, I think on Cher's channel, and I think Natasha might have been there too, where we were discussing the fact that, you know, people shouldn't judge people on their pasts with stuff like that. And I think they had like a falling out. I don't know exactly what happened with Mandy and Cher, but I think they used to be on, like, they used to be like in the same chats and panel. I just, because I was there, but I'm not really sure what went down. But yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna go hit up, I believe Lindsay is live, so I'm gonna go check that out while this uploads. So like I said, make sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, consider becoming a member. You all are wonderful, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't ever forget that. And everybody has a place here. I want people to feel comfortable here. You know, speak your mind. It's all good. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's people. There's people who get it. And everybody's voice matters. And your story is valid and deserves to be heard, no matter what creator it's about, you know? Just because that's where I'm going with that. But I'll be back soon, and we will get into like the big audio visual part of my live. But everybody have a great evening, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.